Updated November 10, 2017 125,039. There is one photograph that haunts Annastacia palaszczuk, despite only ever seeing it once. It was a picture of her grandfather in a labor camp in Poland during World War II. He was a bare skeleton. He nearly lost his life during those years, she said. He often told the story about how the other people in the labor camp would run out of food and the Polish people would share their food. He emigrated to Australia after the war, where he worked as a boilermaker. He just said to me, "You've got to have a job, you've got to be able to provide for your family, put a roof over your head and make sure you put food on your table," the Queensland Premier said. She credits him for instilling in her the values she carries today. "I think my grandfather had the most incredible strength of character to be able to survive the war, and I hope that is one of the great strengths that he has passed through to my father and through to me," she said. "My father always pushed education on us. That education was important because my grandfather said to him, 'You have to study, you have to work hard.'" She is the oldest of 4 daughters and said her family had a humble beginning. "I remember we had our first housing commission home in Inala, and after that we moved, I think, to my grandmother's house down to Oxley for a while, and then we moved up to Jamboree Heights," she said. Ms. palaszczuk said her family got by with just the essentials. "They didn't have a lot, it was very basic furniture. I can't remember the furniture changing," she said. "I was the sort of person who would just bring one friend home after school, it'd bring half a dozen. I can always remember everyone laughing. There was also singing and dancing." You can probably guess which ABBA star Annastacia palaszczuk used to impersonate when she teamed up with her friend Nicole in primary school. Nicole Andrews, who still lives a couple of suburbs away from me. "We used to love playing ABBA and we used to dress up, we used to sing all the songs," she said. "We were going to conquer the world and we were going to be ABBA." Ms. palaszczuk studied arts and law at the University of Queensland before heading overseas, where her interest in politics grew stronger. In 1992 she traveled the United States with her friend Anne, where they followed the Clinton campaign. She went on to volunteer at the Labour headquarters in the United Kingdom as part of a master's thesis looking at campaign strategies. Away from 1 William Street, Ms. palaszczuk turns to TV for some escapism. She admits to binge-watching series with her partner Sean, like Top of the Lake, The Crown, Victoria, and on the odd occasion, The Bachelor. "I'm really bad. I watch reality TV sometimes. I just think it's the best form of escape," she said. "I have to confess I have watched a bit of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. It's a bit embarrassing, I isn't it." Ms. palaszczuk is not a fan of snakes or scary movies. "I don't watch horror movies, I just don't like them," she said. She described her playlist as being full of chilled music. "A bit of Rufus, London Grammar. I went and saw them recently when they came out here and they were excellent live," she said. "I'm a big fan of Powderfinger. When I spoke to Bernard Fanning, we actually realized that we were at university at the same time, and I think he might have done a couple of political subjects either just before me or just after me." She also listens to a lot of Neil Diamond, Rod Stewart, and of course ABBA, but she laughed when she admitted she will not be going to see Mariah Carey when she comes to Brisbane next year. "There is not a lot of spare time left when you are Premier of the state," but Ms. palaszczuk says it is the little things she enjoys. "I like walking and I love walking the dogs when I can. I also like spending time with my nieces, and a few weeks before the campaign started I took them down to the local cafe and we had brunch because they love having the babysinos. It's about spending time with family and seeing my mother. It's just really hard because there's so much pressure on your time that you don't actually get to spend time with family and friends. I have so many text messages of people wanting to catch up, my friends, and it's like, well, have to catch up over Christmas," she said. "My school friends from high school, we try and catch up regularly each year. If she could take a holiday to anywhere in the world, it would be to Lady Elliot Island off the coast of southern Queensland." Terry Irwin was telling me about the incredible breeding season of the manta rays. "He'd love to do that," she said. "The other thing he'd love to do is spend some time out at Winton, where you can actually go out and spend time going through the dinosaur history. I went to a shed once and watched them there, and they were putting it all together, and I just thought that would be fascinating one day." Ms. palaszczuk said while she does not hang on to regrets, she has gone through trials. When I had a miscarriage, that's definitely my biggest disappointment, she said. I always wanted to have a child. I tried for many, many years. It still upsets me to this day. When it comes to work, she does not let the pitfalls of politics get her down. In this job, you have to be yourself, she said. It's a completely humbling experience. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and I'm going to make the most of it. I'm not going to lose a single day of worrying, oh if only I could have done this, if only I could have done that. She said it took time for the reality to sink in when she came back from the smallest opposition in Queensland's history to win at the 2015 election. We were heading up to Government House and all of a sudden there was a chopper overhead, and they said they're following you from your building, she said. I think it wasn't until I walked up the stairs and I met with the governor that it was, this is it, this has finally happened. And honestly, it's the job I've been given to do. Topics: elections, government and politics, human interest, political parties, help people, Brisbane 4000, Inala 4077, Queensland, Australia. First posted November 10, 2017. 071451.